From this moment on, you will now be known as Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Welcome, brother Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Enough with the Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh! Bop.
What's up, everybody? This is D from Brooklyn, taking a look at my freshwater side of the hobby. Here's my black skirt tetra, which you can see is just a little preggers carrying a bunch of eggs. And I've introduced a couple of extra males to the tank to see if I can get them to spawn. Now, maybe you're better than I am. I have a difficult time telling them apart, so it's a lot of guesswork and just observing the behavior. But I got a few which were on sale at Petco, and I'm hoping that they entice this one over here to release those eggs. And before I did that, you'll notice I removed a lot of the plant growth from the center area of the tank. Now, just talking about plants for a minute, there's a lot of important contributions that plants provide to any fish tank. One is spawning. A lot of fish actually are very hesitant to spawn when there are no plants, and adding plants will actually help induce them into a spawning behavior. And the other thing is oxygenating the water. You'll see that I do add oxygen to the water because I have so many plants, and during the nighttime, through the reverse osmosis process, the plants actually utilize a lot of the oxygen from the water. So I do have oxygen coming into this tank. You'll notice it's bubbling a lot. That's because the bubbles are actually hitting the roots and creating this like ripple effect, which is really nuts. I think it confuses the hell out of my betas, and it kind of looks like a giant bubble nest. And in the back, you'll see one of my auto sinklets on the bag. I keep some biological media in this tank, so if I want to move the fish for spawning reasons, that I'll actually have some cycled media ready to be moved. And that's one of the definite benefits of having so many plants in a tank. When you have to move fish, you can take some water out of the main tank, clip some of the plants and put them in like a breeding tank or what have you, and it's ready to go. So I love watching this guy. It's funny because it's just, ever since I clipped all the plants, maybe I didn't notice it because there were so many plants, but he just sits on this bag waving back and forth because there's a lot of plant matter and probably microfauna that have attached to this bag, like the betas. Look at the betas. Probably says, wow, I got the biggest bubble nest I ever had. And also I cleared the plants out because it was so dark in the bottom of the tank. A lot of my fish that are feeling comfortable in the darker reaches of the tank, I would just never see them because they would stay in the lower reaches of the tank where there's a lot more swim space. And there's a lot of the Java fern roots under here. A lot of them just kind of hang out down there. So I just like to remove it. It'll grow back in about a week. This plant grows really fast. That moss type grass in the top reaches, so it'll regrow really quick. And your fish take on a really different color in tanks that have plants in them, like this copper colored beta down here. I believe it's one of my splendens. It's really hard to appreciate the colors in the video, but it's like a copper penny colored platinum mixture. And yeah, I like to see them. So as much as it is a benefit to have the plants, they do consume a lot of the oxygen at night. So sometimes I see people post comments like, hey, all of a sudden my fish just died. They were doing fine. I tested everything and it was normal. Sometimes the pH can significantly drop at night while the plants are going through the reverse photosynthetic process. They consume oxygen at night when the plant lights go off. Although this little guy has been doing just fine. It's my favorite pleco. I think I will call it George. And by the way, it's plant safe. It doesn't munch on my plants. But anyway, all those roots and plants consume so much of the oxygen at night that I found I was using a CO2 system, and the pH was dropping like crazy at night, like almost to like 6.9 level, and then during the day it would go back up when they started using the O2 again. So I programmed my lights here to go off so that they come on, all four will come on, and then two will go off, kind of like a sunrise sunset. Let me see if I can give you a shot. Basically they're Zoomed plant bulbs. I have some Coral Life day bulbs, which I believe are 6500K. I have the specialty red bulb here that you can see here. It's a red bulb that I was recommended by Absolutely Fish, and it is a really good bulb. The wave, really good bulb if you can find it. This is the red wave point bulb, and then the other are just some Odyssey 6500Ks that I order online. But they all four only run at the same time for maybe about 3 to 4 hours. And I think that's more than enough just to grow the plants. You don't have to do this, but I just thought it was the best way that I found where I wasn't getting ridiculous algae growth. Now, in the tank below, I have dual bulbs, T5s. They stay on all day because they're not programmable, and look at how much growth is in here. I'm not dosing anything. I'm not adding fertilizers. I'm not doing anything. Fish poop is key. I'm just doing water changes. The only thing filtering this tank is an internal box filter. And let me see if I can give you a shot of the other filter. Oh wow, they're my leopard Daniels I got at last week's club auction. But yeah, here's just an internal filter, and I'm losing a lot of water through evaporation. This tank, since it's open top and it's winter time, this is in my basement, it's probably evaporating maybe a half a gallon or more a day, because the heat in this tank, this tank is set to about 78 while the room is probably 72, so it's a lot of condensation. But the importance of plants, man. As you can see, Rocky is chilling there from the pond outside, still going strong. And just wanted to take a shot at the tank, man. I know I spend a lot of time on the saltwater side, but you can grow plants in a tank without doing all this complex stuff. But type of plants is a different story. Like if you get into lilies and things like that, which are really like even the rosette type plants, I noticed the tanks with red, anything with the red color are the more demanding. Where I go to my SI, my SI International CO2 system to dose the CO2 in it. But you can get away with a lot simpler setups. Just take your time, take your funds, and get what you can get. And I'll cut it short. So just to update, the tank's doing good. I'm hoping for some Tetra, so cross your fingers and wish me the best. Until next time, I'm gonna keep it short. This is the Planted Swim. Everybody click subscribe, hit that bell. I look forward to your comments. And with that being said, I'm out. See ya!